I wasn't supposed to be there. Not on that forgotten road, not at that hour, and definitely not alone. But things never go the way you plan, do they? I'd been hitchhiking across New Mexico, broke, tired, just trying to get somewhere that didn't feel like nowhere. My last ride dropped me off hours earlier, and the sun was already starting to bleed into the dirt when the desert went quiet. No cars, no cell signal, no shelter, just miles of nothing and the feeling that something was watching me. Then came the engine, a low, rattling growl from behind me. An RV, old, white, the kind you'd expect to see parked permanently outside some run-down trailer park. It slowed down and stopped beside me. The driver leaned over, a man, late 50s maybe, graying mustache, aviator glasses, calm voice. "You need a lift?" I hesitated. Every survival instinct screamed no. But it was cold. I was exhausted, and he looked ordinary. "Yeah," I said, stepping in. He smiled. "Lucky I found you. You could have been out here all night." Inside smelled off, like bleach and rust. Curtains drawn tight. There was a hum, steady and quiet, coming from the back. He asked me my name. I gave it. He didn't return the favor. "You got family expecting you?" he asked casually. I lied. "Yeah, brother in the next town." He smirked, just for a second. Then he was silent. And the next thing I remember, everything went dark. I don't even remember closing my eyes, just that click, a heavy one, like a metal door sealing shut. I woke up choking on the taste of rubber. Something was in my mouth, a gag, tight, wet with my own spit. My arms, numb. My legs, cold and stiff. I was strapped down, leather cuffs, metal chains. I couldn't move more than an inch in any direction. My head throbbed, like I'd been drugged. There was a sharp buzzing in my ears, and a mechanical hum beneath me, like the room itself was breathing. It took a few seconds before my eyes adjusted. The light was dim, flickering, some kind of fluorescent bulb above me. The walls were steel, scratched, dented, stained. I wasn't in a hospital. I wasn't in a house. I was in a box. No windows, no exits, just a thick metal door bolted shut on the far side. And dozens, no, hundreds of tools hanging neatly on the walls. Saws, clamps, hooks, pliers, things I didn't even have names for. Some were clean, some weren't. There were cameras in the corners, red lights blinking, watching. And next to me, a cassette player, already spinning, already playing. "Hello there, bitch," a man's voice said, calm, slow, almost friendly. "If you're listening to this, then you're mine now." I froze. It was him, the man from the RV, but his voice was different now, colder, practiced. "You're gonna be here for a while. Don't try to scream. No one's coming." The recording kept going. 20, maybe 30 minutes. He talked like it was a game, like he'd done it 100 times before. I wasn't his first. And something deep in my gut told me I wouldn't be his last. The tape kept playing. His voice was smooth, almost rehearsed, like he'd read it off a damn script. There were no stutters, no hesitation, only cold precision. "You're probably confused, maybe scared. That's good. Fear makes you easier to control." He talked like he was teaching a class, explaining how I'd be used, broken, and trained. "This trailer's soundproof. We're in the middle of nowhere. You can scream until your throat's raw. No one's going to hear you." My pulse was pounding in my ears. I wanted to move, fight, do something, but the restraints cut into my skin every time I tried. Then, the tape clicked off. Silence, but not for long. I heard it, footsteps, slow, deliberate, coming closer. The metal door creaked open, light spilled in behind him. He stood there like a silhouette, big man, still wearing the same glasses, his expression unreadable. I thought he'd say something, anything, but he didn't. He just looked at me. Then, without a word, he walked to the wall and selected something. A tool, I didn't see what it was. The door slammed shut behind him, darkness again, except now it wasn't just me and the tools, it was him. I could hear his breath, feel it on my face, and then he whispered in my ear, "You're going to be my favorite." That's when I realized the tape wasn't meant to scare me, it was meant to prepare me. He called me his toy, not by name, not even by number, just toy. He didn't shout, didn't curse. He spoke in a soft, casual tone, like this was all completely normal, like I was some kind of project he was working on. Gotta break you in, make you pliable. You fight too much, you snap, but if you're patient, toys can learn to behave. The first time he brought out the devices, I thought he was bluffing. No one could be that sick. But he wasn't bluffing. There were chains hanging from the ceiling, leather straps, a chair with spikes where your back should rest, a table full of clamps, syringes, wires. He strapped me down like a surgeon prepping for operation. Only this wasn't medicine. It was theater, and he was the lead actor in his own twisted show. I screamed. Of course I screamed. He didn't flinch, just turned up the tape recorder playing classical music, Vivaldi, I think, Winter. He whispered things I still can't repeat out loud. And the worst part wasn't the pain. It was the way he looked at me. Like I wasn't human, like I never had been. He documented everything. There were journals on the shelves, each labeled by year. He wrote notes, adjusted straps, measured reactions. I wasn't a victim to him. I was an experiment. After it was over, if you can call anything over in that place, he dragged me across the room like a broken puppet and stuffed me into a plastic barrel, taped it shut, left me in the dark. I could hear him whistling as he walked away. No rush, no guilt, just satisfaction.
It was tight, too tight. My knees were pinned to my chest. My arms barely moved. My skin stuck to the plastic walls, slick with sweat and blood. The air inside was thick, chemical, sour. Every breath burned. The barrel wasn't just a container. It was a coffin, a slow, deliberate way to erase someone. I tried not to panic, tried to stay still, preserve oxygen. But in the dark, in that silence, time warped. Seconds stretched into hours, hours into eternity. No light, no sound, just me and my thoughts. And they weren't kind. I don't know how long I was in there. Could have been a day, could have been 3. All I had was the sound of my own heartbeat and the occasional thud, a door slamming, footsteps, laughter. Hers. Yes, there was a woman. I never saw her face clearly, just the echo of her voice. She called me Thing. She mocked me, whispered through the lid of the barrel, like I was some animal in a jar. He likes you. You'll last longer than the others. Others. That's when it hit me. This barrel had held someone else before me, maybe more than one, and it would again. I screamed, pounded on the walls, begged, but all I got in return was that voice, his voice. Shh, toys don't talk unless I say so. And then the barrel rolled, once, twice, until it stopped, final position, final resting place, and I truly believed I would die in there.
I didn't remember blacking out, but when I woke up, I wasn't in the barrel anymore. I was lying on the cold floor of the RV. My wrists, raw and bleeding, were no longer tied. The gag was gone. The hum of the generator was silent. The tools, the chains, the cameras, still there. But everything was still. He was gone. The woman, too. Just gone. The air was stale. The stench of decay lingered. Something had been dead in there, and maybe still was. I stumbled toward the door, every muscle in my body screaming. When I pulled the latch, it creaked open. No alarms, no lock. The sun outside was blinding. I fell into the dirt like a corpse clawing out of its grave. Crawled, sobbed, screamed until my throat tore, and then headlights. Someone found me. A hiker. He called the police. I barely remember what I said, just fragments. RV, tools, voices. I was taken to a hospital, interviewed, questioned, prodded. They didn't believe half of it. But then the FBI raided that RV. They found the tapes, the tools, the journals, the bodies. David Parker Ray, the toy box killer, had been doing this for years. I wasn't the first, I wasn't the last. And worst of all, he didn't serve a single day in prison. He died of a heart attack before trial. They said I was lucky, that I escaped, that I survived. But they don't know what I see when I close my eyes. They don't hear his voice in the static when I turn on the radio. They don't wake up in the middle of the night smelling bleach and rust, heart racing, skin crawling, still strapped in that chair. I didn't escape. Not really. He may be dead, but the box, his box, still exists. In my mind, in my sleep, in every locked room I step into. I was a toy. And toys don't forget their owners.